If you took the Clifton Strengths before the pandemic, I'm recommending that you consider retaking it. Why? Because there's been enough dramatic change in our lives that our brains have adapted. And one of the things the Clifton Strengths does is it measures the fastest, most instinctive elements of our brain. So if we've changed, that means our brain has changed. And this gives us a window into what those changes were, and we can connect it to our life experience to understand why. And we can connect the two different reports to our life story and understand how our brains have changed. Now, why is knowing this important? For one thing, we develop an identity around these strengths. For most people, the changes will not be major, but for some, they're very dramatic, as we'll see in this comparison. And one of the interesting things that came out in our conversation is that, and people are not going to believe that I've become this mentor coach when I came in a decade ago as this turnaround person. It also meant that this individual was going to need to shed an old identity and some bruises and wounds along the path of being a turnaround person and begin to accept the strengths that he currently has as a mentor coach. Now, he was prompted, of course, by my promotion on doing this, but he had been feeling for a while he was different. He didn't know why, and what was happening is that it was causing him to second guess how he was feeling. After our conversation, he was relieved and excited and felt like he needed to take some time to really absorb what this new combination of strengths could mean for him, and then how to live into this new profile. Now, my intention today is just provide an overview of some of the things that you can learn about yourself, and I'll do this by going into some of the background. So let's call this leader John. In 2011, John was in the middle of a turnaround effort with an organization of about 3,000 individuals. The organization had gone through a couple years of turmoil. The previous leader, who was beloved by many, was forced out of the organization, and then this new young leader came in, and he had to establish credibility right away, and he was putting out fires. So if you look at the strengths in 2011, you can see strategic, number one, a gut level instinct in real time on how to cut through all the confusion, get to the end game. His input strength allowed him to absorb a lot of history and become a subject matter expert on the problems, the organization's history, and establish very early his credibility. Restorative is the strength that's ideal for turnarounds. It's naturally activated to take something broken and make it whole again. It's the kind of strength that has lots of patience and capacity for handling problems and fire drills and working through them and putting things back in place again. His individualization talent gave him the ability to recruit a great team and know where to put them in the organization. And to round out the top 5, activator is that sense of urgency and catalyst. When we move to the end of 2022, here's what we learn about this leader. Relator is now number 1. It had been number 10 previously. This gave John clarity about his current role. Previously, he had to come in as a white knight, putting out fires, turning things around, making hard decisions. And over time, what he's done is built a leadership core. And once things got stabilized, his role shifted to building trust and coalitions. Notice too that strategic was number 1, but now it's number 10. That's a dramatic shift from going from 10 to 1 with relator and from 1 to 10 with strategic. He shared a story with me that now in leadership meetings, he sits back and lets the leadership team work things out, and occasionally he'll nudge it, summarize it, and now his primary role is to help coach them to see that things actually get completed. In the original role, as a turnaround leader and a troubleshooter, he was having to insert his energy to just get things started, that activator catalyst strength. That's not needed anymore. He's learned naturally, instinctively, to shift And in this role shift and in all the changes, his brain has also changed as well. The flip side of John's learner strength is teaching. So you see this combination of building trust in teaching, where in the previous role, it was make quick decisions, be the subject matter expert. And a third significant change that I will point out is moving from that catalyst to that accomplishment leader. So catalyst to get things started in 2011. Now it's more about helping teams, relator, learner, and now achiever, get things done together. I don't know if your before and after picture will be as dramatic. I had another coaching session yesterday, and there was significant change. There were some additional lessons in that conversation that I'll bring to light in another video. So I'd like to encourage you, if the last time you took the Clifton Strengths was before the pandemic and you went through significant changes, even disruption, it means your brain has changed. And so instead of operating with an old set of assumptions, getting a new assessment will help clarify any changes you may have experienced and give you the confidence on how to become a new version of your best self. So if you'd like to do a similar comparison, reach out, let me know. We'll send you the instructions so that you can prepare to go through a similar before and after exercise. Take care.